Hello and welcome to today's Dalal Street Week Ahead video. Now in today's Dalal Street Week Ahead video, we'll be taking a look at three stocks. I'll take a look at ICICI Bank, I'll take a look at Hindustan Aeronautics, and I'll take a look at Dr. Reddy. For each of them, I'll share my equity plus options trading plan and what I believe will happen in terms of price action analysis. Now before we go into those three stocks, let's take a look at the news affecting our whole market, whether it's the Nifty, Bank Nifty, or the broader indexes even. Now, I believe the first effect will be coming from the India GDP numbers which were released on Friday. Now, those GDP numbers were more positive than was expected. So that's a good positive surprise. And we will basically have to see its reaction on Monday morning, primarily in the Nifty Bank Nifty. Stocks not outside that. I expect that to be sort of contained, that positivity will be contained in that sphere. So that is a good positive news, but the real news I believe the market will be looking forward to is the RBI interest rate decision, which is meant to come out on 5th December, Friday basically. And if the RBI was to give a rate cut, then especially the banking stocks and all will do splendid. And consumer, FMCG and other sectors, they'll do very well. So I think that is the main news which the market will be watching. So due to all of that, I expect the Nifty to try to make its way between 26,200 and 26,600. It will continue trading in this zone as it has been. In fact, me and clients hold option sales capture in this zone. As P sells below 26,200 and C sells above 26,600 as we expect the range to be. There's index to move sort of within the range as it waits for the RBI interest rate decision. Once it gets out of this range is when we can get a clean trending move, but as long as it's within the range, we should get a range side move. Now let's take a look at the three stocks I'm going to cover. I'll start with ICICI Bank, then go to HAL, and then go to Dr. Reddy. Coming to ICICI Bank. Now ICICI Bank, I'm looking at this simple stock version. I'm not looking at the futures chart. For all of them, I'll look at the stock chart, not the futures, because all can be done in both right now. Now, ICICI Bank, I am positive about it, and I'd even covered it in a previous video, and I had basically covered it when it was at this point, and I said it's going to bottom out, and upswing is going to come. It has risen. It rose to near 1410 and then has stagnated at this point, formed a box range between 1410 and 1350. Now, what is my trading plan going ahead? Now, I believe ICICI Bank is trading in two box ranges. Number one is 1410 to 1375, and then the bigger one, 1410 to 1350. Now, as long as it's within this range, you're not going to get a move. But the minute it breaks 1410, then I believe it's going to be giving a good up move to 1440 and 1455. How I'm planning to capture it, I am sitting without a trading ICICI Bank right now. I'm going to either wait for it to break this or to hold one of the supports, and then I consider a fresh long for 1440 and 1455 as I'm bullish on the stock. If I go long, if I have to go long, then if it breaks 1410 and then I have to enter, then I'll enter only via futures and option sells. If it pulls back to 1375 and then gives a long, then I might even enter in equity plus futures plus option sells, as ICICI can have a pretty quick ascension to 1440, 1455 if it breaks that resistance zone. On the other hand, obviously, if it breaks 1350, it's going to go down. But right now, I don't see the likelihood of that happening, especially with the RBI interest rate decision coming up on Friday. So that will keep the banking stocks sort of waiting. So that's why I have not held a position on it now. I exited the previous one I discussed in the prior video, and enter once the new move starts. So that's it for ICICI Bank. Now let's take a look at Hindustan Aeronautics. Now HAL is also a stock I am positive on, but it's naturally weaker than ICICI Bank. It's got a less cleaner chart. It's sort of at the stages at which I discussed ICICI Bank. If you go back to the previous YouTube short and also the long form video which I did on it, when I selected it at the bottom and then it got a move, I'm seeing a similar pattern form in HAL. Now HAL has been smashed by a lot of news rather than anything wrong with that. So in my point of view, as long as between 4620 and 4360, this is a box range, then you're not going to get much. But how I'm trading it, I've entered a long in HAL, and if it breaks Friday's high, then it can go towards 4620, and if it breaks that, it goes to 4840. Now, I believe a lot is going to depend on this week. Number one, when the GDP numbers coming out positive, even though HL is not directly linked to that, will give such a stock some positivity. Then the RBI interest rate decision is really going to play a weight, even though this again is not a fully RBI linked stock, but it creates the atmosphere for the whole market. So my point of view, I'm bullish on it as long as it stays above 4,360 to 4,420, and I will keep holding my position as long as this zone holds for a target of 4,620 and 4,840. But as I said, this move can be a bit slow of a climb, and it's very similar to what I did with ICICI Bank just a few weeks back in the YouTube video, where it was at the same bottom and then it rose to 1,410, and this one I expect it to rise for 4,620. If it then clears that, then it goes to 4,840. So that's it for HL. I'm also bullish on it. And now let's take a look at Dr. Reddy. Now, Dr. Reddy is also another stock I've covered. I released 2 videos on it, in fact, even an article on it. And I had said at this point that I'm bullish, and then it has risen to 1,265 and got stopped there. So it has given already a profit of roughly 4%, I believe. Now the next move is starting to develop. If it breaks 1,265, then it'll be going to 1,335. This is right now, if you look at it, it rose here and then it had one day of a bearish fall when the whole market had a bit of a rough time, but it managed to hold this box range support of 1,215. So my trading plan is I'm still holding Dr. Reddy as an equity, and I'm also holding it as a P-sell. But if it breaks 1,265, then I will let the equity ride to 1,335, but I'll also most likely here add futures and option buys, longs, to go towards 1,335. So on all 3 stocks I've shared today, I am bullish on them. And Dr. Reddy and ICICI Bank, the ones who have been watching my videos regularly, know that if they were shared in the past, they worked out exactly as intended. So now it will be time to see when to break the resistance levels which they're at, and that can give us a new up move that is healthy and profitable. So that's it for today's video. If you liked it, then hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and click the notification bell. Thank you.